Story. At this year's Academy Awards, Al Gore got nothing but love, riotous applause for his efforts on behalf of planet Earth. Well, fortunately for Al, those days seem to be over. The real story is Al Gore is still getting a vocal reaction during his appearances to warn all of us about the apocalyptic effects on, the warming of the globe. But nowadays, the cheers have been replaced with boos, and not just from the right, but from the left as well. Now, as I give you this story, I'm going to try really hard not to gloat, but I'm not making any promises. Concordia University, it's in Montreal, Canada. Remember, Canada, a university. They just gave Al Gore an honorary doctorate. And during his address, he was stopped twice by angry cries of dissension and disbelief from the crowd. Sacre bleu, in Canada, really? Gore responded by saying, "I don't know if you guys are from the left or the right wing." You know why that is, Al? Because both sides now know you're full of bullcrap. Those on the left who do agree with the perceived immediate dangers of global warming think you're a hypocrite. Not only does your palatial mansion use more electricity in a month than the average American home does in a year, but the meat eater that he is also contributes to cattle emissions, which are infinitely worse than driving a fully loaded Hummer. Now, that's not my opinion. That's the opinion of those crazy conservatives at the UN. Now, those on the right have long believed that, something's going on with the Earth's climate, but it's impossible to deny that so much of Al Gore's science is unsubstantiated, and his doomsday language is just out of control and counterproductive. Even the New York Times has said that Al Gore is writing checks that his research couldn't cash. Usually the only thing you find about Al Gore in the New York Times, love letters. Al, the world's on to you. Your self-promotional, politically motivated science fiction. I say, forget, the diet, grow the beard back, invite your old friends Ben and Jerry over for a little reunion. The jig seems to be up. Chris Horner, he is the author of the Politically Incorrect Guide to Global Warming and Environmentalism. Chris, yes. Aren't you absolutely shocked that the mainstream media didn't pick up a story about protesters at Al Gore's speech from the left?
Well, wait a second. It took the New York Times about 15 months to pick up on the fact that his movie was pure science fiction before they found some scientists who were willing to say this. So I expect in another year or so they'll figure out that maybe it's worth reporting, because we'll figure out in about a year it will be almost 10 years since we've experienced any warming, Glenn. You have to remember that. It hasn't warmed since 1998. Maybe on that anniversary that they will notice that, in fact, some college students jeered him. And the reason that's odd is you're noting that, yes, he does tend to now speak only before reliably left-wing audiences, sure, but typically elites. College students may come from the elite strain, but they aren't yet there.
Right.
They haven't figured out that his agenda is really about other people. They realize they'd like to create wealth, and he's going to make it quite difficult for them.
Let me go, because you said, it's been 10 years, almost 10 years, it's been 9 now since we've experienced any warming in the globe. Let me show you that we seem to have collective Alzheimer's. From the Washington Post, Greenhouse Doomsday. The year is 2035. Phoenix is in its third week of temperatures over 130 degrees. Holland is underwater. Bangladesh has ceased to exist. This is not science fiction. It's based on current projections. At what point do the projections start to catch up on them?
Well, when they assign years to them, I believe that article assigned 2035, so back then it was a long time in the future. Right now, remember, Al Gore has been saying for nigh on 5 years that we've got 10 years to live. So pretty soon, those chickens are going to come home to roost.
I don't know if you saw this, but in USA Today, I think it was yesterday, the lead story in the Life section was, scientists say it's too late. It's too late to turn this around. I thought, well, I should go buy the Hummer then.
Well, that's when the schism starts in the movement, because at that point the funding dries up. What's the point? Remember, Glenn, we spent $5 billion with a B researching this that's purportedly settled, and now it's too late. Why don't we spend the money productively to help with adaptation, which is how successful societies have always dealt with something that they always face, climate change.
Chris, thank you. I want to leave you with one quick quote here. It is from Discover magazine. We have to offer up some scary scenarios. Make simplified, dramatic statements and little mention of any doubts one might have. Discover magazine, 1989. Seems like the playbook. That's the real story tonight. And in the spirit of